mentioned Monty McNair. Obviously, we played some of Monty McNair's media availability to you yesterday. One piece we missed was this exchange between our good friend Deuce Mason and Monty McNair.
Final year of your deal. Have you had any extension talks at this point, or is that something you anticipate happening at a later date?
Is my deal like on the internet or something?
That people talk about. A lot of fans are wondering, is Monty? I'm sure you see it on Twitter.
No, it's look, for being my group, like, we're excited about what we've done. We're excited that Coach Brown's in here. I'm the GM right now, and I got a bunch of work to do, so I'm going to do that until they kick me out, and I hope I'm here for a long time. And I think with this team we put together, we're really going to start seeing that progress. It's taken a couple years for us to kind of continue to shape the roster and get guys around Foxy and HB and Rashawn, some of these guys that have been here. But I think for us, that's what we see our job as, and as long as we're here, we're going to do it.
So we're doing the Foxy. So we're doing the Foxy thing again, I guess.
Foxy.
I guess that's not going away.
Wait a minute. Can you just do me a favor?
Yep.
Can you
play
that again?
I knew you'd ask. I got it ready for you.
Any extension talks at this point, or is that something you anticipate happening at a later date?
So there's the question. I just want to make sure everybody they caught the question. Have you had extension talks, and or is that going to take place at a later date? Technically, two questions that Monty can answer. Take a shot for. In fact, you could drink a whole bottle for each of those questions he answers.
My deal like on the internet or something?
That people talk about. A lot of fans are wondering, is Monty? I'm sure you see it on Twitter.
No, it's look, for being my group, like, we're excited about what we've done. We're excited that Coach Brown's in here. I'm the GM right now, and I got a bunch of work to do, so I'm going to do that until they kick me out, and I hope I'm here for a long time. And I think with this team we put together, we're really going to start seeing that progress. It's taken a couple years for us to kind of continue to shape the roster and get guys around Foxy and HB and Rashawn, some of these guys that have been here. But I think for us, that's what we see our job as, and as long as we're here, we're going to do it.
Okay. Let's play a little game. Let's play a little game.
I like games.
You be Deuce Mason,
okay,
and I'll be Monty McNair, my guy.
Gotcha. Hey, Monty, your contract is up this offseason. We wonder, have you had any contract extension talks? Is that going to happen later?
Is it on the internet or so? I don't know what's going on here. It's on the internet? I don't know. No, seriously. I mean, I'm the GM right now, and me and my team were just working hard. And I was walking in Delco, and I went to a Holiday Inn earlier today, and man, this one is very vintage. And we're just out here, and there's a Holiday Inn down the street, and it's not far from Old Sac. And that's all we can do is just go to that Holiday Inn and make sure that it's nice for the future.
Yeah. So the contract, Monty, did you happening later? Or?
I mean, it's right next to the Yard House, so that is a good place for that Holiday Inn to be. They've got a restaurant next to it, and they've got a parking structure over there, and they're building up a little bit in Old Sac, and it's just a really good place to be in downtown Sacramento.
Monty, I'm beginning to think you're not going to answer my question.
I had to hear that twice. I said, what does Foxy have to do with any of this?
Yeah, like no one asked, literally no one asked about De'Aaron Fox. Hey, but since we're here, could we come up with something other than Foxy?
Is Foxy the new TT?
Well, no, Foxy been around. There's no new TT. I want TT abolished from this organization's history. But Foxy's been around longer. I just don't know. I don't know. Was it Doug? I don't know where that started.
I feel like it might have been Alvin.
Was it? Oh, I think it was Doug. I don't think it was Alvin. It wasn't Alvin. It definitely wasn't Alvin. Because that name's been around for a while. So Monty says he hopes he's the general manager for. Doesn't say anything. Again, Deuce asked two questions, gave him an out. He didn't answer either of them, but said he'll be here till they kick him out, and he's hoping to be here for a long time.
Well, okay. All right. I mean, that's fine. Now, look, once again,
yep.
I'm the king of what do you expect them to say? What do you really want them to say? I don't expect. That's a great question by Deuce. Like, you got to ask the question.
You got to ask it. Absolutely.
There's no problem with that. But Monty's not going to talk about whether or not they've had.
You're damn right. I want to be the richest general manager in the league, Deuce. That's what I want, buddy.
He's not going to do that, and especially Monty McNair, because Monty McNair, look, that's my boy. That's my boy, Monty McNair, Monty McNair. Mm-hmm. But he'll avoid a question. Mm-hmm. He ain't gonna answer nothing, really, and he don't have to. So I get it. Great job by Deuce asking a question, and great job by Monty hitting it with that Euro step.
Yeah, but the ball rolled off the rim. I think he's getting an extension, whether talks are happening right now or not. I think he's getting an extension, and I feel like it'll be announced before the season starts. I don't know why. Early? I do. Like, you're really going to enter the season with a lame duck general manager?
I mean, it's not ideal.
I mean, it's not uncommon either. Like, it's not, it's not like coaches where you almost never see a coach enter the final year of their deal. But still, maybe this is the common thing when you bring this up is it feels like he did something good, but we've got to see the results on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to see it a little bit. Like, I think I'm with everybody else here. I would absolutely be giving him a contract extension right now. Let's just keep the good vibes and the security of his job right there where it's at right now, or greater than where it's at right now. But there could be, the decision maker, whether it's Vivek or anybody else, who wants to see some type of results before they commit. And I don't know. I guess I understand that. I wouldn't do it, but I guess.
I mean, it goes to some of the things we've talked about in the past amongst ourselves and with James. When you look back at his tenure here, he acknowledges there in that clip that it's taken a while to get to this point that they are. I think De'Aaron said yesterday, we'll find this sound for you as well. I think De'Aaron said yesterday, this is the most talent I've had on an NBA roster in my time here, something along those lines. And so you look at Monty's first off season, which, it's tough to judge. It's August of 2020, remember? And he wasn't even hired in August of 2020. That's when the process started for the Sacramento Kings. And then it's that, it's the short off season into another shortened season. You have a condensed draft process. You have a condensed free agency process. You have all of these different things. And that's when Hassan Whiteside and Glenn Robinson III come in. Oh, okay. And he doesn't. He doesn't, but it didn't work. So it's fine that you like him, but it didn't work.
No, it didn't work at all.
And then you have a slightly more impactful trade deadline with Mo Harkless, and I think that's when Terrence Davis came in, and you had a couple of guys come in there and addressing the toughness, and ultimately that falls flat too. So but you've slowly been able to form this roster into a group of individuals that not only it appears you like, because you were doing this with Luke Walton and then ultimately Alvin Gentry as your head coach, but a roster, and this is a really important part of this whole offseason, is it's a roster that I think fits Mike Brown. And that's a really important part of this whole thing too, is you want to have you want a coach who can implement a game plan the way he wants, with a roster that gets it, with a roster that will understand it. And I think Monty has worked really hard to do that.
Yeah. No, I think he has too. And I think with everything that he's done, we talked about it yesterday with James. I mean, there's only 3 guys there. Or Harrison Barnes brought it up. There's only 3 guys there from when he took over. When Monty McNair took over.
Yeah, HB, Rashawn and De'Aaron.
Yeah. And 2 of those guys could have been gone, might have been, you know what I mean? The only one that's really solidified is De'Aaron Fox. And it would just really make no real sense to allow somebody to, just on a surface level, I guess, to allow somebody to come in and do that to your organization and then say, all right, move on. Like that don't make any real sense. So I would think just by giving him the leeway to move on from different players and do different things, that you'd be already planning to bring him back. I mean, even go a little deeper than that. You let him get rid of one of your franchise players. You allowed him to do that. I don't think you would allow anybody to do that if you didn't plan on keeping them around.
The greatest young point guard in NBA history.
Little Magic.
Irvin Magic Halliburton.
He's the Magic. Magic Johnson is a little Magic. Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah. If only Irvin had that type of hype coming into the league. Here's De'Aaron Fox talking about communication with the coaching staff and the line we were just talking about, this being the most talented roster that he's been on, this courtesy of our buddy Matt George.
Once we hired all the new guys, the communication has been top notch. Everybody knows exactly what they have going on for the next week. So it's something that's been different with kind of just how much attention to detail, like how much time you're going to be in there, how much time you're going to be out here. Let them know before 5 or 6 o'clock everybody will know what's going to happen tomorrow. So no one's ever really surprised by, what's going on.
And with respect to previous Kings teams, I think it's easy for us to say this is probably the most talent you've had surrounding you. Do you kind of agree with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. And then, for me, it's being with Luke. He's taught me how to play without the ball. So we've done a lot of – it's been a great summer, I would say that.
There you go. It's been a great summer, says this team's leader, De'Aaron Fox.
He's in a good place, man. He's in a good place. At least it seems like it. In a good place.
I know one thing because I'm looking at him right now. 10 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds of anything this offseason. Like he looks lean.
All right, that's what our guy Mark Jones was. I think he tweeted it out. He was talking about the Kings, and he said De'Aaron Fox is going to be better on defense because he looks a little lighter, looks swift.
Okay, swift.
I don't know if he said swift, but
I think good old JR used to say he's not quick, he's sudden. It's going to be
good old JR will be like, there he is, man, 6'6", 225 out of the University of Oklahoma. Bro, calm down, Mel Kiper.
That's what he would do. That's what he would do indeed. But it's got to be encouraging. I mean, that's the I guess I'll pose it as a question rather than a statement. Are Kings fans encouraged by any of this, or is it just whatever? We've lived through the heartache before. Just go win some basketball games. We're not encouraged by communication. We're not encouraged by what Rashawn Holmes said about being locked in and focused. We're not concerned about any of that. We're only concerned about whether this team wins or loses.
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest with you. I hope that doesn't sound like a cop-out answer, but that's what it is. But because I do think people are excited. I think we're excited, but we're also not saying you have to show us. You have to show us. We're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt based on your history and your recent history, where we said all these things last year. You guys said a bunch of stuff last year, and I thought that at the end of the season last year, there was no way that people could get excited for the Kings coming into the season because they had just kind of had enough. Not that they were leaving the team or anything, but they wouldn't be able to get excited. We're excited. We are excited for the season, but there's still a healthy dose of, all right, you got us excited, but what we're expecting, we don't have those type of expectations until we actually see it on the court.
So what are the next day is it? 3 weeks, 4 weeks going to be like? Are we just treading water, like waiting to get to opening night?
To be honest with you, this is why our guy Sean Cunningham thinks it's going to be a boring training camp, because there's not really much that can come out of this. The only things that can really come out of this that might change the tenor or change the energy around this team is if Davion or Keegan are like unstoppable. And reports in training camps are like, nobody can guard these guys. And then we see a couple preseason games and it's like, these guys are looking a real deal. Now that's going to be a lot different between training camp and preseason in the regular season games. But if you hear those things, that may get people a little more excited or give them some juice during training camp. But I think that's really about it. I could be wrong, but De'Aaron Fox is killing that. We know he's good. He should be killing. We need to see it in the real game.
Neemias Queta has grown by leaps and bounds here over this 3 weeks. There's going to be a story about one of those guys. It's the nature of training camp.
What do you think it's going to be?
I want it to be Queta, and I'll be perfectly happy with this too. I think it's going to be Keon Ellis.
So you're
Keon
saying
Ellis is the one people will be that you'll be hearing rave reviews about from Mike Brown or Jordy or Jay or whoever is speaking to the media. I don't know that those guys will be speaking to the media, but I think you'll be hearing about one of the young guys. I'm gonna go Keon Ellis.
You're saying that over Keegan?
Well, I think, but I think there's a certain expectation for Keegan.
Okay.
I think Keegan's going to go out there and hypothetically, Keegan goes out there, kills it, training camp, really good, has great preseason games. Yeah, that's why we took him at 4. He's the 4th, right? It was the 4 overall. He's the 4th overall pick in the draft. Of course, he's going to be good. Man, y'all see Keon Ellis though? Keon be busting his ass in practice. Go ask De'Aaron Fox about Keon Ellis. Go ask Davion. Like I feel like he's going to be the guy that happens to.
You know who? We talked, is there anybody you're, interested in seeing? And I know how it's going to sound. I know they're going to be looked at as a stand. But, man, I can't wait to see that boy Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk I think Malik about to do work. I think he's about to do work here in Sacramento.
Real honest question.
Yeah.
Do you love me and Jesse more than Malik Monk or no?
Yes.
But it's close, right? Like it's really, really close. Okay.
I'll tell you, man, I think Malik about to do work, bro. I think he's about to do work.
I think I thought James laid out the point why so many people are assuming Kevin Huerter's the starter over Malik Monk. But I do think it's interesting if you're Malik Monk, like, y'all just gonna gloss over me like that, okay? Like, I'll show you. Like, I had a pretty good season last year.
Yeah,
I know my team stunk, and if you want to put that on me, like that's do your thing. But that wasn't on me. I tried to make the best of a bad situation last year. I don't know. I feel like that conversation has just kind of been. And by the way, I don't mean that. Like, no one's saying Malik Monk isn't going to have a huge role on this team. I just think it's so interesting that he's automatically slotted as, no, Kevin Huerter's going to start.
Yeah.
Oh,
I understand.
Okay.
Malik Monk is a walking bucket, as the kids like to say, as the ballers like to say, who's entering the peak of his powers.
Okay.
And that is, that might be a show. That might be a show.
And he wants, he's going to be playing for money. Like he signed a bargain. Like
part of what makes me feel this way is what I think about Malik Monk, but also my paranoia for what usually happens with the Kings. Because I remember James Ham always saying, man, they should have signed him to a 3-year deal, like whatever. I think Malik Monk is going to tear it up for 2 years, Kings are gonna make the playoffs, and we'll be stressing out like, I don't know if we can afford Malik Monk.
Mm.
Like I could see that happen.